What is up? What is up? What is up, Fight Hype family, YouTube, all boxing fans around the world? What's going on? It's your man, Sean Zattel, holding it down as always for FightHype.com. Make sure I'm on mute over here. But what's going on, everybody? This is something I would normally be attending today in Tahoe, California. Usually this would be in San Diego, California, but Canelo Alvarez has moved this camp to Tahoe, California, and we're going to be looking at the live workout today for Canelo Alvarez, getting ready to defend his 168-pound undisputed title against the 154-pound champion, Jermell Charlo. So yeah, here from the high-tech, elaborate, illustrious headquarters in Las Vegas for Fight Hype Live. Once again, it's your man, Sean Zattel. And no glorious intro music today. Didn't feel like it quite. A little bummed because I planned on being in Sugar Land, Texas Monday to see Charlo work out, and being in Tahoe today to see Canelo work out. But some COVID scares made them call off any media attending these two workouts. So I'll be rocking live from the office. I'm waiting for Showtime Sports to start the live stream for Canelo's workout. And let's see how he's looking today. So what's up, everybody? It is the official Fight Hype Live pregame show. So had a lot more to talk about yesterday with Jermell Charlo. There was a number of things because Jermell Charlo, to me, has to kind of fight. He does have to fight the best fight of his career. He has to find a step above in his game, even above the Castaño and Tony Harrison rematches that he won by knockout, you know, both fights leading to him being undisputed at 54. But in both fights, he got hit a lot in those fights. Number of middle rounds got away from him in that second Tony Harrison fight. Castaño, even though he knocked Castaño out, he didn't hold the center of the ring, didn't put a dominant jab to dictate distance. He just, used combinations off of the ropes and outslugged Brian Castaño, being the bigger, more explosive man. Fought very well off the ropes with new trainer Joan Guzman assisting Derek James. But I needed to see a great jab in the center of the ring, getting angles off of it, escape routes in the center of the ring off the jab, to set up the spots where he could pick his combinations. Because if he lets Canelo in range, like he did Castaño, who got him from rope to rope, he didn't hold the center of the ring. He lets Canelo get in range like Castaño did and just tries to flurry to get him off of him and win exchanges. I don't think he'll win those exchanges like he did with Castaño. Canelo's a different animal. So a lot more analysis on the Charlo side for me personally Monday, because he has to fight the perfect fight. For Canelo today, a little less analysis, if I'm being honest. I've seen Canelo fight for so long in these big fights that all I'm looking to see is he fresh? Is he a fresh Canelo? Is he looking sluggish on his feet, on his upper body head movements? Do they look quick and twitchy and fresh and sharp? Do his punches look fast and sharp? Or does he look like, an older Canelo like we've seen the last couple fights? There's some signs pointing to he'll be rejuvenated today, because he's talked about healing from injuries that are allowing him to give his all in training now with Reynoso in terms of mitt work, going rounds in the gym, road work. He said things like that. He can give more in camp this time than he has his last couple fights, with some injuries healing up and everything. So we'll see if that's the case. He's been fighting out of San Diego for years now, and he's moved that camp up north to Northern California and Tahoe, where the elevation is higher, should be better for his training. So we'll see if we get a rejuvenated Canelo, or if he's just an older fighter who's getting older, who's had almost 65 professional fights, that's starting to make some excuses for a slight, gradual decline from his peak. We'll see. I want to see today if we see a rejuvenated Canelo. And again, I'm looking for the fast twitch in his upper body movements, for how his hand speed looks. I know he's going to punch hard. I know he's got the heavier hands than Charlo. But I want to see if we see a fresh, rejuvenated Canelo for today's workout. So what's up, everybody? I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat now that I've gave that spiel. My wife is in the chat and says, Cutie Pie is live. Thank you. Killer Be Killed says, salute, Cuck. Salute to you too, sir. Let's see you have a live with a fine-ass wife in the chat calling you Cutie Pie. You will not Killer Be Killed, but you will stick around the Fight Hype Live to see this Canelo breakdown. TM says Tahoe PEDs. Not Casual says good one. Why ain't you there? Says Joshua Keeble. And then he says, oh, okay, he heard my explanation of what happened. Lil E says the LDBC's daddy, Canelo Alvarez. Epic Estate says Canelo needs to fight the real champ, David Benavidez. And let's see who else is in the chat. Eduardo Martinez, Gilberto Nazario. How you doing, brother? Shout out. I'm trying to see if that's Cuba or Puerto Rico, the flag you're throwing up there, sir. Good to see you. No Boxing, No Life. How are you doing? Saying it will be a great fight and both are undisputed champion for a reason. Well said. I do think it'll be a good fight. I think Canelo will win this fight, but I do think it'll be an entertaining fight that goes the distance. But we'll see. Let's see how Canelo looks. I don't count Charlo out. But I do think Canelo will win this fight. But let's see how he looks first today in today's workout, which is supposed to start in about 5 or 6 minutes, but usually these things take longer than that. So we'll see. James Betterton said, I like your take on boxing, bro. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Carlos D. Santiago says Canelo's too much for Jermell. So we shall see. Just waiting for this workout. So again, to kind of Chesamain says, you weirdos stay talking about the LDBC. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments. People, Tay Day says, we here. What's up, Tay Day? Remy says Canelo Benavidez 2024. So to recap a little bit on some of the points I made yesterday during Charlo's workout, Charlo's jab needs to be a little bit more dominant in this fight than it has been lately. I think that's a big adjustment he needs, and he needs to hold the center of the ring. Because against Castano, he didn't hold the center of the ring. He didn't dominate at long range behind his jab. Castano got where he needed to get. He got him on the ropes. He got in his chest. He got in mid to close range. But Charlo, to his credit, showed some improvements on fighting off the ropes. He has just as good a hand speed as Castano, but he's a more explosive athlete. He punched much harder, much bigger man. And so he went to war with Castano in one of the best fights of last year, and he just knocked him out. Same thing with Harrison in a way, in that he actually ate two straight right hands before delivering a big left hook that dropped Harrison in round 2 of that rematch. So he's taken a lot of shots, and he can't afford the same punches that he got hit with by Castano and Harrison that he can with Canelo, and Canelo's better than both of them. Although, maybe some things, if you're speaking in Charlo's favor, are different. Maybe Canelo at 33 isn't as fast as those super welterweights were, those 54-pounders were. Even though he's better than them, maybe he's not as quick with his hands as they were, not as tall and as long as Tony Harrison. So some different dimensions there, but still he didn't hold the center of the ring against Castano. And if he lets Canelo so easily walk him down rope to rope, he won't be able to just fight off the ropes in combinations like that to beat Canelo. And when I saw in Charlo's workout a lot is he moved, and then he stopped and punched. He moved, and then he stopped and punched. He didn't move and punch like Bivol can do with his jab that gave Mayweather, because Mayweather did some of the same things Bivol did, but Bivol, moved and pivoted off his jab. It gave him escape routes to stay in the center of the ring, off the jab. Let him get off offense when he wanted to. Let him use it as a defensive weapon even to stop Canelo from walking in. One moment. So I didn't see that from Charlo's jab. I saw a more stationary jab once he stopped his feet. And Charlo, too, he looked good, though. He looked fast. He looked sharp, carried the weight well. He's got his feet as defense, and then he keeps his hands up and can bend a little bit. But when he bends and tries to bend and catch shots, and it's a good thing that he has another form of defense there. You need multiple looks on defense, but he gives up his height when he does that. And that's going to be Canelo's wheelhouse if he's trying to get off combinations and then catch and shoot and bend his knees and fire off. I think that'll be more the shorter, more compact, explosive man's game in Canelo. So wanted to see that long-range offense from Charlo like Bivol did to Canelo and Floyd Mayweather did. So, but we'll see. Chesamain said, salute, Sean. Love the work. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate that. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Highness says, yo, what's up, Sean? Good to see you, Highness. D. Brown said, facts. Castano did an excellent job, showed lots of heart. D. Brown also said, what's up, FightHype? What's up, brother? Good to have you here. Next Gen Combat Sports TV said, Sean, it's up. De Los Santos bringing the green back to PBC. Does that mean De Los Santos and Shakur is going down? Kenton Gordon says, I'm for Canelo. Yeah, we're just waiting for the workout to start, man. I'm looking forward. Raul Gallardo said, salute to you, Sean, for your hard work and your dedication. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, you know. Appreciate it. It's been an interesting year of boxing. It's been a year of big fights, you know, and it's been a year of big fights, but also some fights that we didn't ask for, like this one. A fight I'm looking forward to, Canelo and Charlo, but not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to if Charlo was fighting Zhu and Canelo was fighting Benavidez separately. I'd be much more looking forward to that. But this is a good fight. Ryan and Tank has outdrew 99% of championship fights in boxing history, but wasn't a title fight. Neither was Plant and Benavidez, and Haney Lomachenko was a good fight on pay-per-view too. And Crawford and Spence finally gave us the fight we all wanted, but it turned out to be very one-sided. So it's been a great year of boxing, but part of me likes to contextualize it by pointing all that out as well. So been an interesting year of boxing for sure. There's been much worse years of boxing. And we'll see what goes down here. I see some of my regulars in the Showtime chat, like Raider Reaper. Get over here, Raider Reaper. Get over here. I think Mortal Kombat 1 comes out tomorrow. I'll probably cop that. Next Gen Combat Sports says, unless it's another pump fake by Coppinger. But let me see. Joshua Keeble says, great year of boxing. It has been. It has been, but it's also been kind of interesting from that aspect. So, because to me, a truly great year of boxing would be like Crawford and Spence was it. We got that. But it would be, you know, Benavidez, Canelo. Tank would have fought Shakur or Haney as opposed to Ryan in terms of, you know, really trying to get to the bottom of who's the best fighter in the world in this sport in each division. You know, Charlo and Tim Tszyu. But these are good mix and matches too. These are good fights. Canelo Charlo, I think, is going to be a good fight. Okay, here we go now. I guess we're live with
middleweight championships against Jermell Charlo, the undisputed super welterweight champion of the world. It is Undisputed versus Undisputed on Saturday, September 30th. It all comes your way on Showtime pay-per-view. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions. We have a dynamic night of boxing, but we have the super popular, literally, he is beloved by fight fans around the world. Canelo Alvarez is in the building as he's getting set to work out for all the media members that are watching around the world and all the fans as well. We spoke with Canelo earlier. He is focused and he looks in incredible physical shape, always does, but we know that he's inching closer to that big matchup coming up on September 30th against Jermell Charlo. And I believe we have Canelo here in the building. We're going to talk to him in a few short moments as we look forward to his upcoming collision against Jermell Charlo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tickets are going quickly. You can get them live at AXS.com. You do not want to be left out. You're going to be in Las Vegas, or you could tune in on Showtime pay-per-view at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. And now we are going to talk with the super middleweight champion of the world in a few brief moments and really get his thoughts on his matchup against Jermell Charlo and also how camp has been going. Canelo obviously training here at altitude. Also want to let you know, you saw All Access Episode 1 last Friday. What a tremendous episode that was. All Access Episode 2 comes your way this Friday night on Showtime. And don't forget, we have Showbox coming up on Friday night as well from San Antonio, Texas. But the one thing about Canelo Alvarez is that he always fights the best. He owns wins over the likes of Gennady Golovkin, also Edislandi Lara, Shade Mosley, Caleb Plant. This man has consistently, throughout the course of his career, tested himself against the world's best And now, on Saturday, September 30th, it is Undisputed versus Undisputed, a matchup you do not want to miss. We were in camp with Jermell Charlo on Monday, and Charlo looks in outstanding physical shape. It's the best that I've ever seen him look as he gets ready for the biggest matchup of his career, as he tries to upend Canelo Alvarez, but it will be no easy task. And I believe I'm going to come over here to talk with Canelo as he's wrapping his hands with his esteemed trainer, the great Eddie Reynoso, a man who has been the trainer of the year on a couple of occasions. So as you're getting ready for this fight, training here at altitude in the mountains, why did you decide to change up the location of your training camp?
Because my last fight, I trained the last month in Guadalajara, and I feel good. My body feels good in the altitude. That's why Eddie chose have the idea to come and train here in the altitude.
Now, in your opinion, you could have obviously picked anybody in the world to fight because everybody wants to fight you. Why Jermell Charlo?
I think it's the perfect fight right now. He's in the spirit, in his weight class, and I'm in the spirit. And he's calling me out for a long time. So, and I hear he's talking a lot of things yet, and I never forget. No, he say Canelo going down, and Canelo can do this, can do that. He never believed in my skills. But I guess what? He's gonna find out soon. So I'm very excited for this fight because he and his brother never believe in my skills, and that's one of the things motivate me for this fight, and I'm very excited because he's almost here.
This is a fight that you mentioned about how this has gone back quite a while. You guys there was talks about you guys fighting in 2014, 9 years ago. So you remember all that stuff in terms of what was being said and the dialogue that was transpiring.
Yeah, I never say anything, but I never forget. I always see everything, and I never forget. And I know he and his brother always talk about me. They never believe in my skills and never believe in what I can do in the ring. But I like that because this kind of fights motivate myself. So that's why I'm very excited for this fight.
You mentioned the fact that you believe and you are very happy to be back with Premier Boxing Champions here on Showtime. You stated that Premier Boxing Champions right now is the best boxing platform in the world here on Showtime as well. How glad are you to be back with Premier Boxing Champions?
No, I'm glad to be back with PBC and work with them, with Al Hyman and everybody involved, because the best need to be with the best. So that's why I believe we are the best right now.
Is that why you have this sense of, I feel like you're re-energized, in terms of fighting some of the world's best? Jermell Charlo, undisputed at 154, big, strong kid. Do you feel an extra sense of motivation being back here with PBC and fighting the guys that you're going to fight?
Yeah, I'm motivated. I'm very excited because, I'm fighting the best always, not just this time, but I always make the best fights out there. And like I say, I'm motivated to be back with PBC, and I'm motivated to be involved in this fight because this fight is talking about for a long time, and I'm excited to show them my skills, my real skills, and because they never believe in my skills, and now they're gonna feel my skills.
Now, you have been known as the world's best pound-for-pound fighter, and you've held that distinction, several times during the course of your career. Now people are talking about, Terrence Crawford being number one. How much do you want to go out and have a defining performance to say, listen, I'm still the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world?
Look, I always believe I'm not number one, always, my whole career, because you need to believe in yourself, and I believe I'm the number one. But like I said before, I think it's disrespect for other fighters put just one number one, because it's a couple guys there who deserve to be in the top two.
Well, now as we look at, you're 33 years of age. You've been fighting since you were 16, 17 years in the sport. Have you thought about how much time you have left, or are you taking it by a fight-by-fight basis? I know that this is a part of fight number one of a 3-fight deal with Premier Boxing Champions. Has that entered your mind? I know you got a great golf game, and it looks like you might be headed down that route at some point in your life.
I still feel young, fresh, and I think I never think about the end of my career. I just train and fight every year, and we'll see in the future. But I still young. I feel great. I feel strong, and I feel in my best.
Now, in terms of as you look forward to September 30th, I know that you love the fans, especially the Mexican fight fans. How much do they motivate you? Do they energize you? Do they fuel you to continue to go out and perform at this high level? Oh,
no. I feel proud about Mexico. I feel proud about my fans. I feel proud about represent Mexico because I feel proud about my country, and I feel proud to represent my fans all around the world too. But I just feel amazing when I walk into the arena and see every Mexican with a lot of flags, Mexican flags, and Mexican music. I just feel great, represent my country.
And also, Canelo, as we get ready to let you go and continue training, being here in isolation in the mountains, does that sort of, give you that extra, focus? Do you like being away from everything?
Yeah, I like being here in 100% focus. I like being in the mountain, just with my team, focus on the fight, and that's made me feel better and made me feel ready for the fight.
Well, Canelo, we'll talk to you after your workout. Thank you so much. Canelo Alvarez, the super middleweight champion of the world, getting ready to work out. It is the Canelo Alvarez workout as he gets set to take on Jermell Charlo Saturday, September 30th. Showtime pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. The Canelo Alvarez workout continues here as we get set for Canelo and Charlo September 30th.
Okay, guys, so looks like I'm going to get a minute to talk here before Ray Flores or Canelo has to get back to doing this thing. So I put a poll in, who sounds like the more confident fighter? I'll get right to it. Canelo sounds like the much more confident fighter than Charlo. Charlo continues to kind of uncharacteristically really play nice with Canelo, be extremely respectful. And now that the fight is nearing, Canelo's intensity is ratcheted up a little bit. Charlo continues to be extremely respectful, almost too respectful in my opinion. We'll see September 30th. But Canelo, there a few really interesting things I was taking in my notes. So while Charlo's on All Access talking about, I need to learn the Mexican dialect of Spanish so I could talk to Canelo, and he's complimented Canelo, and he's never once, really gave you that Charlo energy of I'm gonna whoop someone's ass, I'm gonna whoop his ass, and I'm gonna shock the world, and I'm gonna shut everybody up. He hasn't had any of that. He's just kind of been happy to be there a little bit. And meanwhile, Canelo's keeping receipts, and he's remembering the energy that Charlo's used to have. Canelo's bringing he's the one bringing the confident, I'm gonna kick your ass energy. He's not playing nice. Charlo keeps playing nice, and now Canelo's sending a message 2 weeks before the fight. No more playing nice. No, it's time to go. I remember all the things you and your brother used to say about me. I was ducking you. I'm too small for you. You'll beat my ass. You were ringside watching me knock out Caleb Plant, saying you can beat me. Now you're not saying all that shit. And Canelo kind of smirks when he goes, I remember. And over again, the quote from Canelo just now was, him and his brother, they never believed in me or my skills. They never believed in me. They never believed in me. So Canelo's starting to go Jordan Kobe mode. He's not playing nice. He's looking to grasp from straws of animosity and motivation and, locker room chalkboard material, like they call it in sports. He's using bulletin board material. He's using all of that as motivation. He looks fresh and he doesn't look like an old man who's had almost 65 fights, who's wearing down from injuries. He looks fresh and vital in the face. And yeah, he's the one bringing the confident, I'm going to kick your ass energy. He's the one having animosity, building up animosity and spite towards his opponent, building that chip on his shoulder, that great athletes do. Charlo, meanwhile, is not having that chip on his shoulder that made him undisputed at 54. He's being more respectful than ever, almost too respectful to Canelo. And now, despite all of his respect, 2 weeks to go before the fight, Canelo saying, I remember everything you said about me, motherfucker, and I'm going to win this fight. And that's the energy Canelo's bringing. So first signs from Canelo, I feel like he's winning the mental warfare here a little bit heading into the fight. You know, guys like Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward, they prided themselves on psychologically sending a message before the first bell ever rang. Right now, from what I could see, psychologically, Canelo's more the boss between the two fighters. And again, he's doing what great athletes do. He's building that spite and animosity towards the opponent and that chip on his own shoulder. Let me give it mine. In remembering all the things Charlo and the two Charlo brothers used to say about him. So I like the mentality I'm hearing from Canelo Alvarez there. Let me see if they're talking again. Nope, Canelo's just stretching out now, getting ready. So let's see, 52 of you voted, 53 of you voted. The polls up. 83% of people feel like Canelo sounds like the more confident. Here's trainer Eddie Reynoso, so I'll be quiet here for just a moment.
The esteemed
Let's
Eddie
hear what Eddie
Reynoso.
said.
Eddie, thank you so much. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Can you tell us, you guys could have picked anybody in the world to fight, but you decided to take on Jermell Charlo, the undisputed champion, super welterweight champion of the world at 154. ¿Por qué tienes el oponente de Jermell Charlo?
Simplemente porque es un campeón indiscutido, es un campeón de primer nivel, es un boxeador que ha venido demostrando grandes cosas y pues va a ser una gran pelea.
He said it's going to be a great fight. You know, Jermell Charlo has proven and accomplished a lot in his career. He's a world-class fighter, and I think we get an excellent matchup. Now, Eddie, training here in the mountains, why did you guys decide to switch up training camps? ¿Por qué Canelo y el equipo están entrenando aquí en las montañas?
Pues porque llega el momento en que tienes que cambiar de campamentos. Estuvimos trabajando más de 5 años, 6 años en San Diego, nos fue muy bien, la verdad. Y ahora quisimos venir a trabajar a la altura. Aquí Lake Tahoe es una muy buena opción y nos hemos sentido bastante bien y aparte, pues oxigenarnos más.
Well, there are times in a career where you have to change things up from a training camp standpoint, and we spent 5 or 6 years in San Diego. We got some great results there. It was very good to us, but being here in Lake Tahoe, the altitude is very good for us, and we feel strong here, and it's just, you know, it's been terrific to be here, you know, in the mountains, in the altitude. Now, assuming Canelo gets the victory on Saturday, September 30th against Jermell Charlo, have you thought about what could be next? ¿Están pensando si Canelo puede ganar contra Jermell Charlo, si el oponente que quieren en mayo cuando Canelo va a regresar al cuadrilátero?
Pues sí, lo importante es ganar, vernos bien. Estamos trabajando muy fuerte, creo que tenemos que ganar la pelea por cualquiera de las dos vías y después de eso pues ver qué es lo que viene, pero Saúl está para pelear con el que sea.
Canelo's ready to fight whoever it might be, but right now we are squarely focused on Jermell Charlo, and we know that that is going to be, you know, that's our task coming up on September 30th, but, you know, we're ready for whoever comes our way, you know, following September 30th, but that is what we have our sights set on. And also, my final question to you, Eddie, you know, Canelo is 33 years of age. You know, he's been fighting since he was 16. In your perfect world, how much longer would you like to see him go? Canelo está peleando hasta los años de 17 años. ¿Cuánto más quieres en tu mente para Canelo empezar su carrera?
Pues mientras se mantenga disciplinado, mientras tenga el amor por su trabajo, por el boxeo, él puede estar peleando muchos años más. Tiene muy buena condición, está muy fuerte, no está golpeado, tiene mucha experiencia, tiene muy buenos reflejos. Él está realmente muy sano en todos los aspectos y mientras él se mantenga en el gimnasio, se mantenga enfocado en su trabajo, él puede estar peleando muchos años más.
Yeah, as long as Canelo keeps, with his focus being as he is, he hasn't taken much damage. He certainly has, quite a bit of energy. And as long as he has a love for the sport, Canelo can continue to fight for the next several years and just, continue in his career. So we will allow Eddie to train Canelo Alvarez. Eddie, muchas gracias. Nos vemos on September 30th. Eddie Reynoso, the esteemed trainer of Canelo Alvarez, as the Canelo Alvarez workout continues here on the Showtime Sports and PBC YouTube page.
All right, what's up again, chat? Thank you, Raider Reaper, for the super chat. Raider Reaper said Undisputed versus Undisputed. So he sounds hyped. Reason to be hyped. It is a good fight. I said all those great things about Canelo's confidence and doing what great fighters do, finding a way to build spite for the opponent, and also being very confident and ratcheting up the intensity, holding on to receipts, building a chip on his shoulder like Terrence Crawford did with Errol Spence, like great athletes do in other sports. They hold on to things. They hold on to receipts. They hold on to. They look to grasp from any stream of motivation to summon the best performance, and that's what Canelo's beginning to do. He's not playing nice 2 weeks before the fight. He's saying, "All right, now the respectful stuff is starting to go out the window. I remember the things you and your brother said and everything, and so I'm coming to take your head off," kind of energy now. But as good as everything I talked about Canelo psychologically, we still got to see how he physically looks in this workout. If he begins to look like an older man, not as Max Kellerman always uses that term, quick twitches, fast twitch. He's a more twitchy guy, a more twitchy athlete. Let's see how twitchy Canelo looks with his hand speed and with his upper body movements, with his signature upper body head movement and defense. Let's see if he's looking sharp, and body wise, he looks a little light and a little thin, a little bit in the arms and everything. So maybe he's feeling quicker.
Trained in
then
we'll see.
Let's see how he looks.
Trainer of the year. Incidentally, he looks to become the first man during the four-belt era to defend all.
He barely said what Eddie said. Says Lou. What did Eddie really say then, man? What's up, Mr. Quake? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat.
Here at super middleweight with an 11th round TKO over Caleb Plant in November.
Good to see everybody in the chat.
A fight that you saw here on
Canelo is looking fresh, says Lou. Well, let's just see how he looks workout time.
I mentioned the resume of Canelo.
Let's just see how he looks in workout time.
Talk about a who's who in terms of world-class prize fighters.
But right now, Canelo's just doing a little warm up.
Edislandi Laram, the great Miguel Cotto, Sergey Kovalev.
Getting ready in the ring, doing a little workouts, I think, to loosen his arms up.
With a record of 59
tricep
wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins. Coming by way of knockout, Canelo.
Let's see what kind of enthusiasm and energy Canelo has in this workout,
against Jermell
or if he just goes through the motions,
as we are watching,
or if he looks sluggish at all.
He is here in the mountains.
Let's take a look here.
Lake Tahoe.
Again, it sucks that couldn't be in Tahoe.
Like to go into isolation.
Couldn't be in Tahoe for the workout, but close it off to media.
Feels that it has been a benefit to him as he
brought some heat in the interview
from where he was previously at. As
he said, he looked at Ray Flores and said, "They're going to feel
that he
my
was
skills."
Training for the past 5 or 6 years there.
We'll see. Charlo hasn't said anything like that. He hasn't vowed any kind of. That's basically a warning. We do that at FightHype all the time. Warn so and so. Put so and so on notice. He has now put Charlo on notice. That's why you see those titles come up on FightHype so much, because that is what Canelo just did. He kind of just warned and put him on notice. Hey, the respect stuff is starting to go out the window a little bit. I don't like what you used to say about me.
To continue
and now that you're playing nice, that's not going to do it. I still have animosity about that. I still want to prove something to you.
Is right around the corner. It is Showtime pay-per-view. Canelo and Charlo.
Sean, you've been to the mountains before? Yes, I have, the DZ. I was just in Tahoe, funny enough. I wish I knew Canelo was in camp. The week after Crawford and Spence, I went up to Tahoe with my family to chill after a busy couple months in boxing. And I had no idea Canelo would be moving to Tahoe. Otherwise, I would have loved to have go see him train in camp. But that became impossible once this media workout was canceled, basically. So we'll see. Joshua Keeble says, I'm for the culture, Lions only. Sean, the interpreter, is putting words in Eddie's mouth for Showtime, says Remy. Remy, could you help us out? What were some of the things you heard Reynoso say that weren't on the translator here, or on the translation here? Be curious to know. My wife was here, she could tell me. My wife actually once translated an Eddie Reynoso interview for me, so it was at a little cookout thing here on the east side in Vegas where Tyson Fury and Andy Ruiz came to visit Fernando Vargas, and they kind of visited the hood and gave some speeches, some testimonies on Jesus and stuff. And Reynoso showed up to support Andy Ruiz, and I asked him some questions about Charlo. It was Charlo getting ready for Juan Macias Montiel. So the other Charlo. Let me hear this. Canelo smiling here. Canelo taking his sweet time in this warm-up, man. Wonder if he's, not seeing the energy yet in the workout, obviously. He's getting loosened up. That body, guys, that body's getting older. He probably has to do all types of... This is like maintenance to a car. Probably has to do all kinds of maintenance now he didn't have to do in his 20s.
Right, so Canelo Alvarez
I don't recall seeing Canelo have to do all these things. I mean, I'm sure he's probably done some of this for some period of time when the camera's on around. He's just training, doing his normal routine. But, never for a media workout. I've had to see Canelo kind of get this maintenance check. He had to work out his ankle in the beginning when he was warming up, had to stretch out his arms. Now he's massaging his arms. So the 33-year-old with 63 professional fights, he is that body is aging a little bit from wear and tear. You see those tree trunks of the legs that Canelo has, and that is where the power of Canelo comes from. Those thighs, pause or whatever, but they're ridiculous. He has ridiculous, like Manny Pacquiao's calves. Canelo has big calves and insane thighs. And watching Canelo punch up close back in San Diego those last couple of media days before this one, that power comes from his legs right there, and he generates incredible power for a man his size from those legs. That is where the power comes from. And his power has only gotten better as he moved up in weight.
For his 60th win.
But again, some maintenance now needing to be done. He's had hand injuries, knee injuries, and wear and tear on the body of 63 professional fights and camps, fighting since as a pro for 18 years now, since he was 15. You could see the maintenance that he's got to go under before giving us this workout. His quads are certainly getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, he's always had big legs, but his quads have expanded massively since he's moved up in weight, and he's become just a huge puncher at 168 pounds
against the world's best. Canelo has
so power comes from his legs, says Mr. Grandy. Indeed,
the same can be said.
Sean would love to hear what your wife says first about the interpreter. If she was here, I'd ask her what Reynoso said.
But you cannot write off
Smooth Criminal said not seeing that energy yet. No, me neither.
This is going to be a
fantastic me neither. And I know it's like, well, the guy's getting stretched out, but again, he looks very subdued in his body. Let's see if it comes alive for workout time. But he is showing signs of age here, even with this process of having to get all this maintenance check before he can get to working out. Afraid he'll pull something, or that's a part of age and wear and tear. And this is the stuff we didn't have to see Charlo do before he did his workout, because even though they're the same age, Canelo has a lot more miles on his odometer as a professional fighter, having I think 26 more professional fights than Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo has miles on the odometer too, but he doesn't have as many fights as Canelo. But Charlo, it is crazy that he turned professional in 2007 at 17 years old. 2007 is a long time ago. I mean, it is a long. I think the Spurs beat the Cavs in the finals, and that's when Jermell was fighting professionally. But he is the fresher fighter than Canelo. So now Canelo's gotten his car tuned up, and now Ray Flores is talking again. I'll see if I can
SHOWTIME PPV
maybe talk over him.
Champions promoted by Promotions and Canelo
Let's see. I'll check with the editor here and see if we're good. Okay, we're good. So Canelo begins the jump rope. I don't expect any Roberto Duran Teofimo Lopez type tricks here on the jump rope. No Sugar Ray Leonard, probably just standard fare jump rope from Canelo. Nanashi MD saying Canelo doing things at his tempo, calm and focused. Yeah, that's what a veteran does. Smooth Criminal said, I think Charlo is going to work that ring and test Canelo's legs. I agree with you, Smooth Criminal. I agree with you. My problem with Charlo's legs are, he did punch and move off the ropes beautifully. But in the center of the ring, I've yet to see Charlo dictate behind the jab that gives you escape routes in the center of the ring. It allows you to keep turning your guy off the jab at long range, and you dictate the distance, keeping him at the end of your shots as the taller, longer guy, and you keep it in the center of the ring so you don't get backed up rope to rope like Castaño, and then you burst off the ropes with great combination punching. Again, credit to Joan Guzman who did that, helped bringing that to the table for Charlo, but Charlo's legs will test Canelo, but what I saw from Charlo in his workout was not the legs and the jab in particular moving in concert. It was move around, and then stop and use the jab and fire off combinations. He's got to be punching and moving, especially with the jab, to hold the center of the ring against Canelo, because getting driven to the ropes and flurrying off of them, I don't think it'll get it done. He has to have superior ring generalship, believe and be more active with his jab, pivot off of it, to keep escape routes in the center of the ring. So we'll see, but I do agree with you that his legs are going to test Canelo, and if Canelo's energy isn't what it needs to be, his stamina and conditioning isn't what it needs to be, those legs could really be a problem for him down the stretch of the fight with Charlo, who doesn't get tired like Canelo tends to in spots of his fights. It's just a question of how soon and how often does he get tired, because he, at the peak of fixing his stamina problems against guys like Billy Joe and Caleb, he just needed a round or a round and a half off in the duration of a 12-round fight. And he didn't start showing signs of fatigue until really midway through the fight, not as early as the 4th round like he has against Bivol and even Ryder, where by rounds 3 and 4, he's already beginning to lose his first tank and need the 2nd and 3rd and 4th wins. So we'll see about all that. So Mr. Grandy says Canelo has faster hands than Charlo. We'll see about that today. I think at both of their peaks, I'd agree with you. Canelo not only has a little bit faster than Charlo, but also better timing than Charlo, better accuracy and compactness and technique to his punches, the way he throws them. But we'll see. Charlo looked pretty fast. He looked fast at his workout Monday. I want to see if Canelo looks fast. We're just seeing him go through the motions so far in this workout. Had to go through a lot of maintenance check for that 33-year-old 63 fight body, and now he's taking it easy on the jump rope. Let's hear if he's talking. Yet to see any energy in this workout yet from Canelo Alvarez, so we'll see. So let's see. Smooth Criminal says great analysis. Thank you, Smooth Criminal. I appreciate that. Steve Gutierrez says, what is something Charlo can do that Canelo hasn't seen before? It's not so much what he hasn't seen before. It's he has to do the things that have troubled him in the past. A great jab. Golovkin, Lara, Mayweather, and Bivol, obviously, especially, all gave him tremendous problems with the jab. And they had educated feet with the jab. They didn't just stand in one place when they used the jab. That's what Charlo has to do. He's a boxer puncher who has to put the emphasis on the boxer part of that combination for this fight. He's got to box his best fight, and not just look to, pick his spots in exchange with Canelo. He does have to pick his spots in exchange with Canelo, but he's got to out jab Canelo from round 1 and use good angles with the jab. And that'll set up the rest of the offense. He could take it from there, because at that moment, he's dictating the ring generalship. He's dictating the center of the ring between two guys in the distance off the jab. He's got to start from there. He's a boxer puncher. He's going to exchange with Canelo. That's who he is, and he can have success doing that. But if he allows those exchanges to come on Canelo's terms, where he's being reactive like he was with Castano with the combinations, where it's I have to throw these combinations because he's forced himself into range, kind of a step or two above get off me punches, as opposed to you picking the spot, not having to flurry him off of you, but you picking the time you want to open up heavy artillery. You know, that's how you win the fight. So we'll see. Highness says Canelo looking good. So we'll see. Hey, he's just doing this jump rope right now. I've yet to see anything to really judge from or pull from this workout. King Omega says, what's up, Sean? Appreciate all the updates on any and every fight you cover. Great analysis on everything you cover. I got Canelo beating Charlo in 10. I don't know about a Canelo stoppage. He has began to remind me of Pacquiao after the peak, like Canelo's peak in 2021. Pacquiao after Cotto, Hatton, De La Hoya didn't knock out anybody until he fought Lucas Matisse 10 years later in Malaysia. You know, 8, 9, 10 years later in Malaysia against a blown up 140-pounder who was past it. So Pacquiao in those fights after Hatton, De La Hoya, and Cotto, he didn't get stoppages anymore. He still beat guys up. He still dropped them, put a beating on them. I think Canelo's, but he wouldn't get them out of there anymore because he's getting older. He couldn't put forth the same energy as consistently as he did in his peak. And I see that from Canelo now. He's still Canelo, like Pacquiao is still Pacquiao after those fights, but not quite the peak anymore. Not going to slam that door. Not going to slam that door shut. On a knockout, on a stoppage. He doesn't have the energy to finish guys off the way he once was quite able to. So I don't think Canelo wins by stoppage. But we'll see.
Or you
Samuel Leja, probably the nephew of the great Jesse James Leja out of Texas, but Samuel Leja saying Canelo going to prove something this fight. And Highness says I'm stoked as this fight is going on. Yeah, and Canelo going to prove something this fight, says Leja. He says that he's giving us all the right answers for that, but we'll see if that's really the case. Sometimes older fighters, say all the right things. I feel young again. I've given more energy in camp. They say all the right things, but the miles on the odometer and the wear and tear and the age don't lie. So we'll see if Canelo really is a rejuvenated Canelo or if he's a gradually declining from the peak Canelo. We'll see. A continuing to gradually decline from the peak Canelo can definitely get upset by Charlo. A rejuvenated Canelo should be fine. Should be fine in a fun fight that I think goes the different distance, but I think he'll be fine. He'll win the fight. But we'll see.
And he looks extremely fresh. He looks in impeccable.
Skeptical says steroids don't give you fighting skills. With or without steroids, he KOs both Charlos.
Desire to compete at this extremely high world-class prize fighter level. And one item about it, and this is the absolute truth, he does not need to do this.
Canelo's still just doing the jump rope routine. I want to see something. I'm ready to start seeing it. The world is yours says stop hating Bozo. Define the hate world is yours. Where did you see hate? I'm curious.
A 4-division world
Please tell me in all these assessments where you see any hate, such a strong word.
And shared
Carlos D. Santiago said Shaggy is goofy. Canelo's going to stop him. I think Canelo will win the fight. But I don't think he's going to stop Charlo. I think Charlo has the feet to get himself out of trouble at times when he needs to. The gas tank, the pride, the fight through it. I think he can get there, but we'll see.
And now
we'll see.
17 years in the sport,
I think Canelo too isn't quite even a rejuvenated Canelo. I'm not quite expecting the guy that stopped Plant and Billy Joe. So we'll see. I think Charlo will be able to make it the distance and have some moments. But I expect Canelo to win 8 or 9 rounds in this fight. 116, 111, 117, 110. Maybe get a knockdown, left hook to the body at some point. But yeah, I think Charlo has the skills, the pride, and the feet to get him out of trouble in times that he'll see the distance in this fight.
A couple of guys that you could say are
and the pride
pound for pound fighter, because in all honesty, it is subjective, as we will allow
Mad
Canelo
Simple
Alvarez to continue to train here. In the
Chicken Torres said, Sean, are you familiar with the rules coming in underweight? You just got to weigh between 160.1 and 168 pounds. If Charlo wants, he could come in 65, 64, 66. I'm still waiting for you to explain we gonna see a different Canelo, Shaggy? I just said that. I said I expect to see a different Canelo, a rejuvenated Canelo, but not quite the guy from his peak. I expect if this is Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, you know, Rocky Felding, Canelo, and this is John Ryder, third Golovkin fight, Dimitri Bivol, Canelo, I'm expecting it somewhere in the middle, but not all the way up there. So we'll see. All right, now Canelo's began shadow boxing. Great compactness to his form. Let's see, not yet. Let's see, not starting off the shadow boxing with the energy of Charlo, but look at the technique on Canelo's punches. Such perfect technique, turning over his knuckles, turning over his fists on every different type of punch perfectly, and everything is compact, not getting fat or wide on anything. Yeah, Canelo's got, and then and see how Canelo pivoted off right there with the jab, chat. That's what I mean. Charlo doesn't do that when he jabs. He moves around, and when he shoots his jab, he stays stationary when he lets it go, shoots it in a straight line. Canelo, when he shadow boxed right there and he turns over his knuckles on everything and everything's compact, when he finishes with the jab, he exits out at an angle off that double jab. And that's what I wanted to see from Charlo. I wanted to see him exit out with the jab on an angle. And that's what Canelo did right there. And he's not even the guy who's supposed to have, where, you know, he just needs to jab with the jabber. He doesn't need to out-jab the jabber. He just needs to jab with the jabber to get in range, to get off the mid and short range offense, the uppercuts, the hooks, the power straight right hand that, you know, when you're a shorter guy, you throw it at mid-range. But Canelo with beautiful form on these punches right now. Look at how he turns over his hands and knuckles perfectly, and everything stays compact. He stays small in there on defense. Not a big target. Moves off to his left, moves off to his right. He kind of shadow box like he fights. He's not constant. He fights in spurts a little bit, but beautiful form on these in technique. There it is. There's that exit out jab that I was talking about Monday that Charlo didn't show. Is that exit, those exit lanes that it creates in the center of the ring off your jab. Canelo's the shorter guy showing it. There's the upper body movement by Canelo, nice and relaxed. And the upper body movement being relaxed is part of how these guys help make the other fighter miss so much. When you're tense, it's not as easy. But look at Pernell Whitaker, look at Canelo, look at Floyd, look at Ali, look at Roy Jones. These guys with great upper body movement, they're relaxed while they do it. Shakur Stevenson right now, these guys are missing by an inch, right? And he's not even blinking, he's not flinching. They're very relaxed with their upper body movement. Charlo, not as relaxed when it's time to hit the gloves up and move his upper body like he showed in the shadow boxing. But Charlo did show us more energy, more activity in his shadow boxing. Canelo with the more compact punches, the more perfect technique, the better upper body movement here, and showing that exit out with the jab, not always just throwing it up the middle, but keeping that boom, boom, and then beautifully keeping the right hand up, better than Charlo does, who has it a little bit lower around the chin. Canelo covers the chin and the entire head with the jab, and he pivots off of it when he doubles it up there. So, and again, Canelo has better balance than Charlo. Charlo, a taller guy, longer frame, bends his knees and sometimes bends them a little bit too much in order to stay flexible and not be stiff and upright. Canelo, with that shorter, more compact frame, has better balance when he wants to get low and bend and dip his waist underneath shots.
The Canelo Alvarez workout here. The undisputed super middleweight champion of the world will put his crown on the line against the undisputed super welterweight champion of the world from Houston, Texas, Jermell Charlo. It is Canelo versus Charlo, Saturday, September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view.
Gustavo Fontalba said, rocking the Ashton Kutcher haircut, bro. Looking just as much. I appreciate that. Yes.
Back we go with Canelo working out here.
All right, so Canelo taking a breather. He's not showing the conditioning Charlo did. Charlo was going all out in his shadow boxing, throwing a lot more punches than Canelo was.
From T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Didn't take that big break. Didn't take these big breaks, as big a breaks as Canelo is in between. But Canelo's taking his time, doing his thing as a veteran, smiling. going at his pace. The fresher fighter in Charlo should have a little bit more energy than Canelo, but Canelo can combat that with superior smarts and skills, all his tools. There it is. He exits out on that jab. Covers up better when he lets it go, too. Short, compact. See that right there? Short, compact. Charlo's punch is not as short as and compact as Canelo's. And in the exchanges, if Charlo allows him into mid to close range, can't impose his height and his jab and his length, that's going to be an issue for Charlo in this fight. Canelo not showing a lot of activity. He's working on the footwork. Maybe not just going to attack in straight lines like he has against Bivol, like he did against Caleb Plant, attacked in straight lines a lot. Since he's become a super middleweight, haven't seen that footwork as often. He's been walking guys down. But here he is moving around, and he always does this and then winds up walking guys down anyways. But it's good for the life in your feet. Whether you're going, even if you're just walking guys down, you need to have some bounce and some life in your feet. And Canelo just moving around the ring allows him to keep that life in his feet. Canelo looks very happy, confident, relaxed. Now that kind of confidence and laid back, that can cost you down the stretch of a fight if you don't have your foot on the pedal as much as this other guy does in Charlo. But we'll see. Canelo got a beautiful high guard and beautiful head movement. You can mix them both up. Shooting the uppercuts there. And again, just more of what I said already. Turns everything over beautifully. Turns the hand over. Turns the knuckle over beautifully on every different shot. And everything's compact. So, Growing Wild Fitness said you're clearly going for Canelo, and that's okay. No, I'm not going for Canelo. I'm assessing the fighters. And there's a reason why Las Vegas has him as a big favorite, and it's for some of these reasons I'm pointing out here with your boxing eyes. Now, Charlo could still win this fight. He did show a lot more energy thus far in their two workouts than Canelo, and I think a big way Canelo loses this fight, again, is by getting tired early in the fight, not being as fresh as Charlo in the second half of the fight, who could come on strong and upset Canelo. Guaranteed Charlo stays off the ropes in this fight, says 3 pumps. He'll need to a lot more. Carlos De Santiago said, you going for Charlo, you Shaggy? No, you dick rider. You're a dick rider and can't understand a man objectively analyzing 2 other fighters. So, all right, here we go. All right, we've seen little shoe shine uppercuts from Canelo, not throwing anything at full speed, taking his time. There he lowers the lead hand a little bit, picks it up, takes a little half step back, and that's a little bit of the nuance you don't see from Charlo. He's either moving laterally around the ring, then he stops and punches. Canelo, he took that little half step back. Crawford killed Errol Spence with little half steps, whether it was to the back, whether it was off to the side on the jab. Canelo's showing that right there.
In movie theaters across the country. Check out PhantomEvents.com for that. Man, oh man, if you can't be in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena,
all right, now Canelo gloving up. Let's see.
A movie theater
and one thing I know he has, based off of seeing him up close in San Diego, the last couple fights and workouts, and seeing Charlo's workout yesterday, he's definitely got the heavier hands. He's cracking harder than Charlo. But Charlo, if you're landing and getting off 2 or 3 to 1 against this maybe aging fighter who's been loading up more and more, Canelo has. Canelo doesn't throw combinations anymore. He throws 2 or 3 at the most. close
Alvarez
at a time,
gloved
and a
up
lot of
with
time he
his
loads up.
trainer, the
He'll
2021
touch with the
trainer
double
of the year,
jab, come over the
Eddie
top with the right.
Reynoso.
He's
Canelo
become more predictable
Alvarez
with his offense
gets set to step
because
inside
his
the ring
conditioning hasn't been as good lately,
Jermell
and he's been
Charlo
loading
coming
up on his shots
September
more.
30th. It's presented by Premier Boxing
And
Champions,
not taking
promoted
advantage
by
of all
TGP
of his skills
Promotions
like he did in the
and
Golovkin
Canelo
rematch,
Promotions.
like he did against Caleb Plant,
Undisputed
taking
versus
advantage of all of his
Undisputed. What a year it
parrying
has been for
skills,
Premier
all of his
Boxing
upper body,
champions.
constant upper
Gervonta
body movement,
Davis with
using
his
the
victory
jab
over
to set up the
Ryan
lead hook
Garcia.
instead of just trying to land that lead hook and load up on it. Canelo in the early rounds shoots a straight piston-like jab. It's just he's not a jabber, but he has a great jab. And when he uses that jab to set up the lead hook, it really makes his offense beautiful. But sometimes he falls in love with his power the last couple fights.
September 30th,
But I
Canelo
want to see here if we're seeing all the
Showtime
tools
pay-per-view.
and see the hand speed. We will see here. All right, here we go. Here goes Canelo. That sharp, perfectly thrown jab, lead hook. Look at the perfect form on Canelo's punches. And I got my shit on mute right now, but I'm sure everything sounds like a gigantic thud. There's the overhand right. There's a little uppercut, a sweeping right hand, then a sweeping right hook, then a left hook, then a left uppercut, almost a half left uppercut, left hook, the overhand right, and he's got the straight right hand. So he's got about 6 or 7 or 8 different punches in his arsenal, not just the jab, not just the straight right hand, the left hook and the left and the right uppercut. Canelo's got overhands. He's got the halfway hook, halfway uppercut, the 45-degree angle punch. And again, look at the picture perfect. One thing I always admire about Canelo is his perfect form and balance when he punches. Now, his problem his last couple fights has been loading up too much and not flowing into his offense, not using his jab as much, but here we go. Canelo not punching at full speed, but I'm sure the thud. I'll even mute my mic just to hear the thud for a second. Listen to the thud on those shots, and all he's doing, the reason why there's such thud on the shots without him throwing anything hard or at full speed is his picture-perfect technique. I'm going to make myself stupid looking at it, but he's throwing everything with perfect form to where even if you don't throw it hard, the weight generated from his powerful legs is going to leave that big thud. Imagine when the man punches at full speed and at full power. You know, go back and watch the edit people did with the James Kirkland highlights where they edited Canelo to be invisible, and it looked like Kirkland was getting hit by a car crash every time. So that's part of the technique is perfect. This isn't gassing Canelo up. Sometimes my job is to criticize. Sometimes my job is to contextualize and stop the hype, you know, even here on FightHype. But other times the job of a great critic or an observer is to point out when you really do see greatness. And this is, even if Canelo loses this fight, this is greatness in terms of the technique the man throws his punches with, how compact, perfectly balanced, everything comes out with, and the sheer force and power he can generate just off proper technique alone without having to throw hard or fast. This is part of why Canelo is a special fighter. Whether you like him or not, whether you're a fan of his or not, you are seeing something special in part of what I'm describing right there. So, you know, again, even if he gets upset, even if Pacquiao, who's old right now, he can still do, special fighters can do special things in the gym. Even when they're past their prime, it's more when the bright lights come on, can they still do those special things. If you saw Floyd Mayweather, I've seen it with my own eyes, Floyd spar since he was retired, he can still do special, amazing things in the gym that fighters today can't do. It's just, it's under the bright lights, it becomes a different story, you know, being able to still pull that out of yourself. But yeah, and Canelo right there, not showing combinations, not showing great energy, not throwing anything fast, but the technique and form is special right there for Canelo Alvarez. Nice right uppercut there by Canelo, and everything. Yeah, so that, you know, what more can I say on that part? I wish now again though, the energy not being shown. Canelo, in preparing for the 2 Golovkin fights, look at that perfect straight right hand, chat. The way that the shoulder cocks right into it. Look at the perfect form of Canelo right here. Now he's turning up the speed and the power just a touch. But that is that is what you call, okay, so Charlo gets, I said he gets fat in his combinations. Once Charlo starts to throw multiple punches, they can get a little wider. Go watch the Castano rematch, right? Canelo here, he's not going to throw as many punches in those combinations as Charlo's. In those exchanges these two will probably have. But he is more accurate. And this is the pinpoint accuracy that you see Eddie Reynoso and Canelo working on. Everything is sharp and compact and accurate. But he could get outworked fighting, loading up on each shot, throwing each shot hard and perfect. You know, the other guy can get off more punches in a sequence, but when Canelo's moving his head and being so accurate with each shot, you could throw 3 or 4 shots and he can come back with 1 or 2 and win that exchange because he's making you miss and he's landing because of superior accuracy and superior defense with the upper body movement. So we'll see. Beautiful. Those right hands, the way Canelo gets his whole body into his punches, the technique is just, it's really great. It's superior technique to Charlo, who also has excellent technique. That's why he's undisputed 54. But on the punching form, it's superior technique from Canelo. But it doesn't matter if you have superior technique if the other guy's getting off 2-1 and he's dictating the range at which it happens. If you're throwing the more perfect left hook, but Charlo's making the best use of his legs and his range, and that left hook is falling short, he could come back with 2 or 3, you know, not as perfectly thrown shots, but get off on you. You know what I mean? It does, just because I'm saying Canelo throws better technique on each punch than Charlo doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. He's got to get off these punches at the right range. You see all these punches right here at mid to close range. He's very close to Eddie Reynoso. If Charlo makes great use of his jab in concert with his feet and doesn't let Canelo get in that range that often, that consistently, like he did let Castano, then he can win this fight. And look at Canelo getting tired, chat. Look at that deep breath from Canelo as he pauses with Reynoso. This is why Charlo has a real chance of winning this fight. Yes, Canelo is greater than him, but what is the gas tank like, you know? Let's see. And what tactics has Charlo been working on? Look at Canelo already getting a little tired, chat. That's not a good look. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. He took quite the deep breath there with Reynoso for a moment there. All right, now he's letting go of some shots. But when Canelo was getting ready for the two Golovkin fights, he showed you incredible speed with Reynoso on the mitts, on the bag, and we haven't seen that incredible speed. Granted, he's not throwing anything at full speed, and yet he's getting tired anyways. That's not a great sign for the gas tank of Canelo. If he gasses in this fight, Charlo will sense it, and he will rally down the stretch, and he can pull off an upset decision. Look at Canelo getting tired, backing off there. Already pushing the jab there. See, that's not good. I can already see little signs of fatigue
the Canelo Alvarez
from Canelo here. It's not good.
Undisputed super middleweight champion of the world steps inside the ring. What's up?
Smooth Criminal said energy level and stamina is questionable in my opinion. I agree.
You're only
What's not
40%.
questionable is the power and the form and the accuracy and all those things. But at what speed is it coming at? At what tempo? What pace? What energy level?
That's 40%.
You don't doubt.
Oh my goodness! You couldn't pay me enough money to be inside the ring.
You don't doubt
with you
the great Canelo Alvarez's skills. It's not. But what's this gas tank looking like, you know? He needs his energy to constantly cut distance and move his head as he cuts distance so he's not eating shots on the inside, jabbing with the taller man so he's not just coming in naked, walking into shots. You need energy to do that no matter what your skills look like. And so let's see here. Power is 100% on point, Smooth Criminal. Let's see. All right, what's up, Charles N? Good to see you here. All right, now here's Canelo on the heavy bag. And again, perfect form. The way that right hand stays cocked whenever he works with the left, whether it's a jab, whether it's a left hook, that right hand always stays in perfect defensive position. But let's see. I want to see Canelo open up at full speed because the hand speed has been lessening a little bit, gradually declining just a little bit these last few fights. Not seeing the full speed here from Canelo, and yet he still shows signs of fatigue. That's not great. You know, again, love the technique, love the form. Don't love the gas tank today. Great accuracy. Nice pivot out angle there. But look at that. Look at that. Scratches his head, takes a deep breath. The man trains in spurts. He trains like he fights. Charlo's activity was much more constant than this. Look at these deep breaths from Canelo Alvarez, chat. Look at the... this is why I got to keep an open mind. I'm picking Canelo and all that, but should I? If he's going to gaslight... These are just things you have to contemplate when you observe these fighters in the build-up. This is not the guy who was throwing 10, 20 punch combos on the mix with Reynoso in 2017 and 2018 in preparation for his media days for the two Golovkin fights. There's a guy, look at his age, look at him, you know, talking his way through the workout and everything, but you taking deep breaths, brother. Taking deep breaths without throwing things at full speed. And not even doing what Mayweather would do, which is half speed, and then the bursts. He isn't giving us any of the bursts of speed. He turns it up to about 75% from 50%, but that's about it. And then the worst case scenario is this is just what he looks like. This is closer to 100% than you think. So all right, I'll end the poll here. 275 votes, 82% of you felt like Canelo sounded like the more confident fighter than Charlo. I agree with you, chat. Let's start another poll now, which is even more important than that, though. All right, chat, new poll. Oh, whoops, my bad, chat. Started that too soon. 1 second. Forgot to give you guys an actual option. All right, let's do it again. So here's the poll, chat. Here's the poll, chat. The poll is, okay, Canelo sounded more confident. Who looks better in training? Tell me what you think, chat. So again, I like the accuracy, the power, the defense of Canelo, but I don't love the gas tank in comparison to Charlo here in their workouts. And also, Canelo, again, he looks tired during his workout. Charlo looked locked in. Look at these deep breaths. Charlo didn't take any deep breaths like that. He's the better conditioned athlete. He has better stamina than Canelo, and he might win this fight. Custy Amato once said, one of the biggest shames is the more talented fighter, the better fighter losing to the more conditioned man.
So
I'm paraphrasing,
Alvarez
but it's very much something of that sort. And now Canelo is tired and going to talk to Ray. Some red flags there for the favorite heading into this fight, chat.
I feel like this is, you look very lean. This is the fastest I've seen you in a while. Is that fair to say? Is that accurate? Because you look very fast. You look very agile on your feet, very elusive.
I don't know how I look, but I feel great, and I feel great, and I think it's one of my best camp I ever had, and I'm glad to be able to train 100% now with my left hand. You see a little bit.
I got a nice dose.
Yeah, you see a little bit, and that's made me feel confident, because when you in your 100%, you feel confident. When you train knowing your 100%, you in the fight is gonna be like not that confident you have every time, right? But right now I feel great. I feel in my 100%. I feel like a beast.
I feel like you're happy training, and there's like a look in your eye where you're enjoying every moment of training. Is that because you are totally healthy?
Yeah. You can see the vibes here, right? It's because I'm able to train 100%, and that made me feel. That made me feel great. That made me feel confident. That's all that matters. When you feel confident, it's everything.
Are there any changes to training because you're up here in the mountains and at altitude?
Just come and train here. You know, we always prepare 100% wherever we are. but just train here is different. The altitude feel different. At the beginning, I can breathe very well, and right now I feel great. My body feel great, and all around is great. Being here in Turkey, California is just something amazing. I found a place what's made me feel happy and strong.
Now, when you looked at and saw Jermell Charlo during your press conferences in New York and LA, what did you take away from his size? Because people are saying, well, he's going up 2 weight classes. He's a very big super welterweight, and you could tell that I think he is, I think he's going to handle the weight well. What are your thoughts?
No, he's good for 168. He's big, and I did that before. So I jumped 2 weight classes, and I think when you are a great champion, it doesn't matter.
When you are the guy that everyone is trying to fight, how do you maintain that hunger during the course of your prize fighting career? You're not doing this for the money. You got money to left you, I don't know how many generations, but what motivates you?
I love boxing, and I love being involved in this kind of fights. Like this fight motivates me a lot because, like I say, he and his brother talk a lot of things about me, and they don't believe about my skills, and that's motivate me. And right now, I'm glad to be involved in this kind of fights because I'm gonna show September 30 all my skills and show them why I'm here.
You always have elaborate and spectacular ring walks, ring entrances. Have you thought about what you're gonna do when you walk to the ring? Who might walk you out? Can you give us a little preview of what we can expect on September 30th?
We can say anything. Just maybe a couple days before the fight, we say something, but it's gonna be something amazing. The Mexicans need to feel so proud about it.
Do you want to go at points, because during your career, at every point of a fight, you want to go toe-to-toe with your opponent? Is that what you're hoping to do against Jermell Charlo at some point during the fight on September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view?
I don't know what kind of boxing bring that night, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to go forward or he's going to move, but I don't care too, because I fight with a lot of styles, and I have the experience to adapt myself to every style. So and now I feel like a beast, so I can do everything in the ring, and I can adapt myself to any style.
What are you hoping to show the world on September 30th when you take on Jermell Charlo, Undisputed versus Undisputed?
It's going to be a great fight because he have a lot of skill. It's going to be a great fight, but I expect a big win for Mexico.
If you could give a message to Jermell Charlo and he's watching this, what do you want to tell him?
No, nothing. Just I know he's training very well. He's gonna eat it for sure. And I see him September 30.
Your prediction for that night?
I'm gonna win. I don't know how, but I'm gonna win. Knockout or decision, but I'm gonna win.
Canelo, always appreciate it. Good luck. We look forward to seeing you over the next few weeks. Cannot wait for September 30th, you against Jermell Charlo.
Me too. Thank you.
Canelo Alvarez joining us. That'll do it from right here in Lake Tahoe. We will see you as we get ready for Fight Week. Canelo Alvarez, as we go ahead, the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. You do not want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. What a night we are going to have. It is Canelo and Charlo on Showtime pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions. We'll see you in Fight Week in Las Vegas.
It's about pride. It's about legacy.
I want to make history in boxing. That's why I'm here.
Okay, chat. So a couple things I took from Canelo's interview. He says with his mouth that his body indicates otherwise at times, and that happens with old fighters. They still all have it here, all the confidence, everything, but their body begins to do otherwise. Looks like my internet is a little unstable, but I should be good. But says that hands fresh. He's ready to show all his skills. You know, be him at his best, not just the guy low up getting tired halfway through. But it's like, and then he said, he had a quote where he said, "I don't know how I look." When he's saying, because we see that he's trying to convince us and himself that not the camp, and I one of the he said, but he didn't. If it was, he didn't show us the kind of workout he had for the camps in the first two Golovkin fight. Back and watch them. Go look up Canelo workout for the first or second Golovkin fight, throwing 20 combos, moving his head, catch, shoot, and moving his head, combos of a guy in prime in his 20s. Didn't see that in this fight. And he says he's that guy, but despite not training at that level of intensity in front of us, and I know he's in the mountains in Tahoe, he was still tired, still panting towards the end of his training session and with Ray. So, and then he said that, you know, I love boxing. That's why I keep doing this. And that's great. But desire has to go deeper than that sometimes to win these big fights. It can go deeper than that. It doesn't need to, not, you know, but it can go deeper than that into a need. Does he need to win this more than Charlo? You would think not. You would think Charlo needs this more. Neither guy with all actually is rich, so they don't need to win this fight. But if you would think if anyone needs to win this more, it's Charlo, who isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer in the way that Canelo is, or one of the defining faces of boxing or anything like that. So it's great that he still loves boxing. And again, he said everything right, but again, that quote is telling. I don't know how I looked, but I feel great. And I don't know how I look because I know you could see with your eyeballs that I was tired. But no, I'm not. I'm convincing you and I'm convincing me that, nope, I'm great and this is the best camp ever. And that is a sign of getting old as a fighter sometimes. But we'll see. I still think he'll win the fight. But however, on the positive side, he said, you know, he declared victory in a way that Charlo just continues not to. He said this will be a big win for Mexico, whether it's by knockout, whether it's by decision. I know for certain I'm going to win. It's a declaration of victory. Charlo has said he's going to win, but not from his chest the way Canelo says it like that, with the utmost certainty and confidence and assurance. So that's the positive from Canelo. But that can be a sign of an aging great fighter. They still have all the confidence of their youth and all, but they don't have the energy in the body of their youth. So we'll see. Muhammad Ali still talked the talk before he fought Larry Holmes, but he didn't have the body to go with the mental anymore. So we'll see from Canelo. So to add it all up in the end, chat, Charlo has much better conditioning than Canelo, it would seem. He has much better conditioning, and that's big. Canelo's got better skills than him. He's a more compact puncher. He punches harder. But in the feet department, Charlo might indeed have better feet than him, fresher feet. But all of Canelo, all those skills that Canelo has, the superior skills Canelo has, can't work for him the way he needs it to if his energy tank isn't right. Because in order for him to have all that excellent upper body movement and all that, he needs energy. He needs his stamina right, because when the gas tank starts to dip, he moves the head around a little bit less and relies on the high guard more. And that jab starts to split the high guard more and more, as opposed to missing, because he's still moving his head. And so he starts getting touched up more. When the energy tank starts to go low, he gets away from the jab. He starts loading up. And now his distance isn't right for his power shots, because he's forgetting about the jab and he's coming in with less head movement. And so those superior skills that Canelo has, he's got to have the gas tank to make it all work for him. Otherwise, Charlo can pull away in the second half of this fight when Canelo begins to tire and pull off an upset on the cards. I am expecting Canelo to gas in this fight now, based on what I've seen in his workout. But Emmanuel Stewart said two things about great fighters now. I'll say balance is the secret to a great fighter. He has better balance than Charlo. And he also said great fighters can fight exhausted. And that Canelo is one of them. James Toney was one of them. So I think even Canelo, when he gets exhausted, that superior craft he has to Charlo, it'll get him through this fight. But I am expecting a relatively competitive fight. I think in the first half of the fight, Canelo will do better than he does in the second half, but he'll do enough in the second half to still win a decision based on what I'm seeing. But it might be 115, 112, 115, 113, 116, 112, 116, 111. I was first thinking Canelo could really put a beating on Charlo, maybe, win 9 or 10 rounds, drop him along the way. Based on what I've seen from both fighters' workouts, I'm thinking it's closer to 7-5 than it is a 10-2 type of fight. We'll see. Still give the edge to Canelo, but some red flags if you're a Canelo fan, based on the conditioning he's showing right now in camp. If he gasses too early in this fight, Charlo could come on strong, outwork Canelo with better punch output and better energy and pull off the upset. So we'll see, but it would be an upset because Canelo still deserves to be the favorite in this fight. So Val Sack said, what's your official prediction, Sean? I've got Canelo by decision in a competitive fight. So we'll see. Needs the energy to see and execute, says Smooth and Criminal. Indeed, he does. So yeah, Highness, Smooth Criminal, everybody, Mr. Quake, of course, Chichi Torres, and even the haters who were around. Are you guys still around? Hope you guys stuck around. I may have made you sad. What's up, Caleb? Skeptical, Raider Reaper, of course. No Boxing, No Life, who sometimes hates on me, but he comes around the chat, so we're all good. Me and No Boxing, No Life. He's just, that's his guy, Canelo. He sometimes thinks I'm hating on this guy when I'm not. I don't hate on any of these fighters. I just try to give my best analysis possible. So Tay Day, of course, Tay Day, CW nerd, but Tay Day, always a big shout out to you, brother. And that's it, guys. That is my breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. I appreciate all 250 of you that decided to rock with me instead of on the main telecast. You guys were awesome. Had a good time breaking down the tape, and we'll see. I think we got a fight on our hands September 30th. Canelo's the favorite, but we got a fight on our hands.